Hey everyone, welcome back to the shop on a Tuesday night. Um, I got to do something really quick before we get into what's underneath there, and hopefully you guys will enjoy what's behind the curtain. This all looks sleek and white and black and huge and everything, but we'll take a look underneath, and you guys can see all the inner workings of some of the systems that are going on that you don't get to see. First off, let's see who's here. Oh, hey, Liz. Um, yes, the car is in four-wheel drive mode and super lifted mode. It's when you're 6'1", it's helpful to have the car up a little bit higher when you're crawling around in the engine bay like I've been doing today, or even underneath the deck of the limo. I just got this tune for the sniper, and that's what's right here. Whoa, come back here. And I have to use a little touch pen. Um, so I want to test this out really quick to make sure it still works, because we'll do some more tuning tomorrow. I just want to check this thing out and upgrade. Okay. So we have to go back to home. We have to power off. And basically the time for the plate to come up, that's what you're hearing. And power back on. There's the fuel pump. There's this thing loading. Connected ECU version. So ECU overview. There it is. Oh, nope, that's not what I'm looking for. Local setup. Okay. It says the folder is not found, but it's actually there. Okay. Upgrade ECU firmware. And now it doesn't see the folder. So that's fantastic. Upgrade. Yep. Okay. So we're going to screw with that later on tonight. And we'll just go home and pop out the card. So looking for the card. Maybe we'll just try it once more just for grins. Nope. Nope, doesn't find it. So we can power off. Plus, we'd actually prefer to have the car powered off. We can leave this here. So I've got purple pointer because we're going to be underneath the deck of the car, and it's going to be very tight. Like I said, being 6'1", it's a pretty tight fit. Normally, now you start shoving a whole bunch of other components and electronics and stuff in there. So give me a second to grab a light, put this thing away, and we'll take you underneath the car. It is not as sexy as the rest of the car. The car is super cool, and it's a lot of fun, and it does drive a lot better, but it still needs some fine tuning, and that's what I'm doing with the sniper here. I'm trying to make sure that the engine runs really, really well and stays cool and stays oiled and all of that. But the car it does sound great. If I wanted something to be super loud and obnoxious, this is a pretty healthy setup. The 383 stroker from Blueprint, some nice exhaust. It sounds, it's 3-inch exhaust, stainless all the way back. It sounds really good. So unfortunately, I want this car quiet, so we're gonna have to redo the mufflers in the back. We might have to redo there's 2 resonators about halfway down, and then there's 2 mufflers in the back, and it's still loud as shit. So we're gonna have to get this thing a little bit quieter because we don't want it that loud. So um, I'm gonna take you guys around the far side of the car and set the camera down over there so that you guys can see kind of what I'm looking at, and then I'm gonna go in through the driver's side here. So give me a second to get you guys moved around and into the right spot. It's going to take a second. Thankfully, the floor is nice and smooth. So I have a bunch of stuff in the way here, extension cords, plural. And I'm going to open the door. The door is heavy as shit because it has all that fiberglass in it. Now, as you can see, the door card is off on that other side. You can sort of see the door card back there. Kind of, not really. You can see the seat. It's right next to the seat by those cabinets. The seats when I got this car were not bolted in. The passenger seat, the driver's seat were not bolted in. They're still not bolted in. You can literally lift them right out. It's very easy to do. The door cards on this have to weigh 20, 30 pounds each. They're just, that's like super solid fiberglass. They're really nice. So I'm going to set you guys in here and we're going to look back towards this side of the tub. There really isn't much back here. I'll show you guys. But the big stuff we're going to do tonight is going to be over there. Okay. Of course, this cord, I swear, I am Batman. I could hook there. Cord on an orange. All right. So hopefully we can get a good shot here. I might have to move you guys again, just because we have a lot of stuff going on here. Oh, crap. Yep, cleaning cloth, because it always gets dirty. All right, let me get out of here. I'm going to grab 2 lights because I know we're going to need them both. If I can get them unplugged. And what I really want to show you guys are the welds here. These are the welds. I don't know if you can't really see them from there. They are rough. Like this weld here to hold in this is the door popper, the plate where the door popper is. This is the mechanism and it yanks. That's that bullet sound you hear. It's a big solenoid right behind this plate. And the weld here is pretty bad. It's extremely porous and started to corrode. They did some cutting here. You can see the outline of where the speakers were supposed to go, sort of. And apparently all the glass had been broken in this because I cleaned up all of the glass from inside the car. They never cleaned that up. There were also these chunks that they had cut out. Those were still in there. They never bothered to pull them out. They just let them fall in the door channel. So this is the door without the door card. And we're going to get back here. Now, here's the other thing. This floor is not smooth. It has bumps and ridges and posts for the old seats and everything. So you have to be very careful when you come in here because it'll poke you or you'll roll your knee in just the right way. So I'm going to do one light up here. Yeah, why would you stay right there? Okay, that's a little bit better. And hopefully you guys can see that. Yeah, I'm going to have to move you guys over to behind this thing or on the other side of this thing, I think. Let me fold the carpet so it's kind of smooth and not in the way. And I'll move you guys over there. There we go. That's a little better view. kind of. All right. So we've got our purple pointer stick. This is so hard to maneuver in here right now. I'm gonna have to come down in here and kind of lay on my side. Hopefully, you guys don't mind this view. Um, so, what we've got, and let me see if I can change this and get you a little better shot back further down there. Yeah, that's a little bit better. All right. So you can see the tub is held up. These are this is a 2x6 and part of a 2x4, probably another part of a 2x6. And this is the support. There's some fiberboard that was put here that obviously is falling apart. So this has to come out of here. This is what holds the floor in. You can see another piece here that goes to the drive shaft tunnel. And there's a bunch of other foam here. And the foam's okay. The foam's been working for however long, but we need a better support for the tub because this 2x6 and this is not cutting it anymore. So we're gonna have to do something. Definitely gonna have to do something about that. But the tub is supported. This still works for now. I just want to upgrade it. Here you can see these are the aerator lines. These are actually the fill lines, but you also pump air into them. That gives you your bubbles. So when water is going into the tub, you got this one, you got 6 of them in total. 3 on this side, 3 on the other. Water fills in through here. You can tell this is crimped right here. Not very smooth. This one's a little bit better. So a couple of these will have to get replaced too in order to get good flow. This is your main fill line, which comes over to, it's over on that side. There's the in and out for the pump, which let me see if I can, I'm kind of in a decent crappy spot to show you guys this. So this is the out from the pump right there, and that's the in. I know this guy extends more. I have the center console in the way. So this is out to the tub. This is in from the tub. Hopefully you guys can see that. And this is the air line. This is where the air goes in to make the bubbles. So that's really the only thing we have on this side, aside from the door popper wires. And there's a bunch of miscellaneous old wires from when it was a limo. So that's really all that's here. We have the seat belts. They're still in here too. But basically we just have the water on this side and the pump sits right here in this area. So the pump is kind of behind the passenger seat. I'll spin you guys around. And when I first got the car, this was all just covered in tons and tons of shit. I did probably 4 coats of truck bed liner on all of this. And there was tons of this, and there's still some here. Now, of course, I have this big center console in the way, so it's hard for me to reach stuff. But like chunks of wood like this that have come off of this support, there's stuff like this all the way back here. And I can't tell you how many times I vacuumed and vacuumed again and blew it out and vacuumed, got all this stuff out. But it'll continually come apart. So we'll go a little bit closer here to, I know it's not level and I apologize. I'm trying to get you guys as level as possible. So this is our air ride system. And all of this is for air ride. It's not for anything else. The tank is actually covered in plastic. I did that when I originally installed it, and I just kind of left it because I knew I would be scraping it up. It's really nicely powder coated. It looks great. The guys at Air Ride Systems, they did a great job with it. So I don't have any complaints with this system. The only thing I had is I had a pump fail, but those guys fail all the time. So I had to replace one of the pumps. Now you're asking, can air compressors be mounted horizontally? Yes, Yes, they absolutely can. They are fine with it. It's not a problem. The problem was getting them mounted to this side panel, where the doors normally would be. That was very difficult with the rubber and the springs and everything spring loaded. And you have to bring your hand in from behind to hold screws and stuff. That was really difficult getting these guys mounted up. But okay, turn off the alarm. Um, they are mounted. They're pretty close to equal. But the big thing was getting everything off of the floor. I don't want anything on the floor because water is going to spill out and come on the floor. And I don't want stuff shorted like these wires. These wires soon will not be on the floor. So here we have, and I'll just show you the rest of the stuff on the tub. This is the frame for the hot tub. This orange bar, this is the same stuff you see at Home Depot, that the shelving racks at Home Depot that hold like bags of fertilizer and toilets and stuff like that. That's what this stuff is. And we have some half-ass welding on this, and there's some other stuff. The welding's not that great. It holds, but it could be done a lot better. And this frame was obviously built. The lid, it's just the top part that it's mounted to, and then it mounts here to the B pillar. The top part is just the frame, but it's incredibly strong. I mean, you can get 5 or 6 people to stand on this and it doesn't even flex. So they were very smart with that. And then you can see some of the where is it here? Right here is some of the cardboard that they use as that's kind of a guide to keep that gel coat shape. And it's just warped over time. It's fine. It's not really hurting anything. And thankfully, it doesn't get any water on it because you have all that gel coat and fiberglass above it. So that's the frame of this thing. So back to the air system. So the air system has 2 different solenoids in it. It has a front, back, side to side setup, as you can see from the controller. And the arrow points to the front of the car. So we have front and back, side to side, and then we have an all up, all down. It's a great control system. The only upgrade I wish would be that it would be automatic, that the tank would fill by itself, and then the system would automatically keep whatever PSI you set all the gauges at, all the bags at. But those systems are really expensive. We're trying to do this on a budget, and this system works great. So this solenoid here controls the front bags. It's closest to the front of the car. This solenoid system back here controls the rear. That also helps with cable routing and also with airline routing. So that's kind of it. Now we do have a positive terminal here, and this is full-time hot for the battery in the back. And then we have a full-time ground over here. I lifted the cover off so you guys can kind of see it. The cover is off here on the ground system. The ground goes directly to the body, to the chassis. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, you can see it. And this is a big 4-gauge cable. This is the breather for the air compressor. So it has a little air filter on it so you don't suck in bugs and dirt and all that crap. And your air compressor lasts a lot longer. These air compressors are Viking. They are not Viair, but if we ever decide to go to Viair, that's fine. The Viking ones work really great, about half the price. So no complaints there. We do have a lot of wiring going on here. We have the controller for the fronts and the controller for the rears, which join each other, and then they come to this one big main cable. We also have power on the main cable, which is for running the controller. The other thing that's on here, and I added this later on, and that's the reason why we have all this wire here, is to, and it all goes to this one plug right here. and that one plug plugs into a digital gauge and tells us the tire pressure or the bag pressure at each corner. So it's very helpful to have. It was not an expensive system. It was very easy to install, and it works great. So this wire was held here temporarily because the gauge was kept here in the back behind the driver's seat. So now we're moving the gauges up front. We need to uncoil all this. And of course, it's wrapped. The tank mounts are again bolted to the wall. And this thing is wrapped. My dumbass individually wrapped it and then bolted the tank back in. So I have to individually unwrap all of that. I promise you, I will not burden you guys with watching me unwrap that shit. Um, but let's see, what else do we have here? Um, that's really kind of it. All the way in the back, and I don't know if you guys can see this. I'll see if I can. You see that little orange guy back there? Now, this is a really cool feature. That orange guy, oh, that was me. You got to be careful when you touch this. It'll release air or press air in. That orange guy back there is an actual air hookup. So if I wanted to, I could use an air tool and use this as an air tank, and this is a compressor, or I could inflate tires or whatever. I can hook up a regular air line with a regular connection nozzle to that, which can be very, very helpful. Stranded motorist stuff, or if you're trying to, uh, whatever, it's just nice to have an extra air outlet back there. Um, let's see, what else do we have here? Oh, also on these, and you can kind of see the four screws here. Those are your releases. So when you release the bags, when you release the air, you can set how fast or slow that they release the air. They're kind of like little mufflers. What is this saying here? Oh, I can't read it. Ding looks like the crawl space. Oh, dang, it looks like crawl space for a house. First time seeing the deck frame. Yep. It is. I mean, if you want me to, I'll get in there for you guys. Also, the one thing that's hidden on this side, on the other side of the uh, drive shaft tunnel, is the main drain for the tub. It's a huge pipe that follows along here. So let me get some of this here. And also, we have a new wire here. This is our fuel gauge, our fuel level sending wire, which is also part of the new hookup. And we have a whole bunch of extra here. And that's going to get routed through this. See where this is? This is our center console. And everything's going to get routed to the center console and into the footwell for the passenger. So all of this stuff is going to go up onto the frame. So again, stuff will not be on the ground. So all of this stuff will be eventually up here. This guy is our power. He is our door solenoid. He will go up with the rest of the wires along the high wall here, right by the kick plate. So it's about 4 inches up. This is our old switch to turn on the pressure gauge. That will come out because we have a new switch. He was obviously temporary. And so that will clean up a lot of this wiring. A lot of this stuff will be up here, and we'll just have a straight shot in here. So I'll crawl back there if you guys want to see. This is so weird. All right. And this is how you get back here. You hold on to the top edge. And of course, my knees hit the steering wheel and everything else. So, and I'm trying not to rip wires out, that sort of thing. So this is how tight it is in here. Not quite NASA space module. Here's some old fiberglass resin. A lot of this stuff out there. Um, yeah, I wish I could show you guys. There's like this stuff just dripped down. This is old, ancient resin. You could spend hours just picking this shit out of here. Anyway, that's gone now. So this is how tight it is in here. And again, you have the shelving rack, you have this cardboard, and the cardboard is kind of it looks like it was kind of a guide for where the tub was going and to keep the gel coat and fiberglass fiberglass base up here. Um, I can hear a little tiny leak here. Where is that coming from? Can you guys hear that? Oh, I can hear a little tiny leak. It's coming from up here. I think. Oh, I can hear it. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Where the hell is he coming from? All right, we're gonna have to get some water in here. It sounds like he's coming from this second compressor. Um, huh. Okay. Maybe? Oh. That's where he's coming from. He's coming from the petcock. The petcock has a little water in him. Yep. So we'll have to get some of that water in there out of the petcock. Well, at least I found that. That's a good thing. No, it's the petcock. The tank has a water drain in it, and occasionally the water, just from cycling air through there, you get condensation, and also going from hot to cold to hot to cold. It goes. You get condensation inside the tank, and with as much pressure as in the tank right now, 300. That tank's 300 psi. When it shuts off. By the way, here's the switch for the tank. I don't know if you can see it. It's going to get loud for a second. So that's the switch. So you just reach in here from underneath. You can turn it on and it's lighted. And that powers up both the compressors. There's an automatic shutoff at 300 psi. And so that's the good news. So hopefully you guys liked what's underneath here. Now, the good part about having this all open and nothing on the floor here is that you now have a little bit of storage space because the trunk is going to be taken up mostly by the water tanks. So you have storage space here. You can use this for, the water filter system. You can use it for, I don't know, whatever the car cover, whatever has to go in here. You actually have kind of a trunk behind the driver's seat, which will be fairly handy because we're removing all the storage from the trunk. The other option, and I'm sort of a fan of this, is doing a secondary tank in here, but not quite all the way back. You really don't have that much room. You would have to do it. Yeah, it would have to be like a super low tank. It wouldn't work very well. Oh, this is another fun thing. You guys, I don't know if you can't really see this. You know, in bathtubs, when the water fills up and you have the safety drain that drains over, this is just a cover that's on here. It's not actually, there's no drain pipe that comes down to this. So there's no, if you overfill it, it's just going to fill this up and then keep overfilling and eventually come out of this front edge. So yeah, for some reason they did not put this and put a T-fitting in here and just run a simple little 1-inch pipe all the way down. I don't know why. They did all this other crazy ass plumbing and they didn't do that. So anyway, that's one thing that definitely has to get changed, because when you have it sloshing around, you don't want it. You want it to come out of that and go to the main drain versus, sloshing around and coming behind here. So that's about it. You guys, it'll take me a second to get out of here because I have a steering wheel, all this crazy floorboard shit in my way. Yeah, that's funny. I can hear that petcock. I don't know if you guys could hear that or not. So that is all of our fun wiring and all of our fun components for inside there. We have this tank came with a bunch of ports. It's really nicely powder coated. That's why it's protected in plastic. It has a port here, and it also has a port at the end. The petcock was only, I believe it was only on that side. Yeah, the petcock is down there. The tank is mainly level. It has a little bit of a tilt, but the good part is the car can tilt. So when it comes time to drain that petcock tomorrow, I'll drop the back end and, just get a couple of rags there and let that little bit of water drain out. You want to get the water out of these tanks because otherwise it'll rust, and that sucks. So, and that's the other thing. We have relays in here for the 2 pumps. You can't see them because it's blocked by these cords. But if you can see back here, there's 2 relays. So we have the switch that powers the relays, which powers the pumps on. And then these guys have their own setup for running this. So we have power. Yeah, it's a pretty cool setup. I'm pretty happy with it. I'm just really happy that it's not on the floor. The hardest part is keeping the stuff on the floor and where the hell to mount it. You have a lot of components. This stuff is, this is really heavy. So getting it up off the floor and trying to keep it dry. Now the deck is, up in here is always going to stay dry. So when water comes down to the floor, we'll have a drain in the floor and it'll be fine. Was that someone else doing a thumbs up, or was that this thing? Now I'm wondering if it's picking up this thing. I love these little pointer sticks. Carbon fiber, carbon fiber. So that's what's going on underneath the limo. There's a piece here about 14 by 14 that needs to be replaced, because this is where all the water is spilled out, and they did not pull the drain plug hole, which is actually right here. They did not remove that, so water sat here and rusted through some of this. So we have a little section here about 6 inches by maybe 18 inches that has to get redone. No problem, right? Pretty easy. It's a very flat surface, and it doesn't need to be shaped for anything. So that's a good call. But that's really the extent of any kind of repair, rust repair. The rest of the chassis just has normal corrosion. Most of it got scraped, scraped out or brushed out before the truck bed liner went on. So the TBL has held up really well. Aside from some dust and cobwebs. Get cobwebs everywhere, right? Look at that. What the hell? That's better. So that's it. That's kind of what's going on. You guys saw everything that was going on in the trunk. Now you've seen everything that's going on underneath the car. So let me get, oh shit, Hammond's calling me. Hang on, let me see what this is about. If Hammond's calling, it's something bad. I'm just texting him back. Okay. He's okay. He's alive. Everything's good. Hammond has not electrocuted himself or got himself stuck under something. All right. Let me pull you guys back up here. I get this garbage. I gotta get out of here. Hang on. Old gel coat. I'll take any weight away from this car that I can. So hang on. Try and balance all of this. Of course, all these wires get caught on the simplest, roundest thing, right? I swear I'm Batman. I can absolutely, I can hook a cable on a bowling ball. I could if I really wanted to. Actually, I could if I wasn't even trying. So there's that piece of wood from underneath the car we will dispose of properly. Wait, I think you can recycle that. I think wood's recyclable. I don't know. Are you going to have heater core for the water? The heater for the water is going to be in the back because that's where all of the heater core lines are. So since the heater core lines are in the back of the car, that's where all the heater core stuff is going to be at. Let me grab this light, shut it off. Where'd you go, buddy? Because I'm going to need these for later. Definitely don't want to pinch this. Whoops. I got to say, Holly, you're updating systems for your sniper, sniper 1, sniper 2, any of the snipers. You're wondering if that's magnetic or if that's metal or fiberglass. There you go. He's hanging on there. Yeah, Holly, your updating system is archaic and doesn't work very well. Not all of us are Linux masters, so you guys might want to simplify that system a little bit. That's what's going on underneath. And oh, also, here's, you want the door card? I gotta pick this thing up. All right, hang on. All right, he's probably just 20 pounds. But this is the lighter side. And you can see it just has a fiberboard backing, is about 3/4 of an inch thick. And then the rest of it is fiberglass and gel coat. And there's a lot of it. And that's the speaker, and that's how you see where the mounting screw goes to mount it in the to mount it in the car. Of course, there's spider webs and stuff on there. So normally that speaker sits right there. Obviously, we're doing different speakers in the car. We're not going to be using this system. We'll be using a Bluetooth system. You can sort of see the screw mount hole there. Um, so that's the door card, and that's the fiberglass. So that's kind of behind the scenes of all this stuff. Um, and I guess that's kind of it. Hopefully, you guys like that. You understand when I bitch and moan about having to go underneath the tub to do wiring or anything like that. You understand why it's difficult for me to go under there and get all jammed up and trying to do stuff upside down and backwards. And is this threading the right way? So yeah, hopefully uh, you guys are a little more understanding of that now that you've seen how tight it is, how tight of a fit it is down there. Um, I know there's guys from Gemini rocket capsules that are like, "Oh, that's cute, nice condo." Yeah, sorry, you guys. I know you work in tight spaces too, but yeah, it's been kind of interesting on how all of this has come together when you think it through, and you try to remember that you can't have water touching stuff. So you have a lot of electronics, a lot of power. There's hundreds of amps in each battery, and they would love to juice you, especially if you got water in it. Water's a great conductor, and actually, it's not a great conductor, just a good conductor. But you don't want to electrocute people, so get stuff up off the wall or off the floor, up on the walls. That way, if the water goes to the floor, who cares? It'll drain out. No big deal. You don't want it touching electronic components, and especially big voltage stuff like batteries. So, or things like alternators, which are shooting out power to the rest of the car, or God forbid you hook up to a spark plug or a coil, and you get I don't even know what those are. They what 40,000 volts, 80,000. I don't remember what a spark plug is, but you don't want to get juiced by that either. So, um, speaking from experience, if you pull a coil wire and it touches your skin, you will remember it. It will put you right on your ass. I promise, because I've done it. It sucks. Um, my friend Stephen Jones thought it'd be funny to steal my car from the volleyball court one day, and I ran over and popped the hood and yanked the coil wire and put me right on my ass. Absolutely straight away. I stopped my car, but I stopped myself too. I could have stopped my heart. That was not very smart of me. But we do this stuff when we're young and dumb, right? And what the hell? You guys, my hair was fine until I got underneath the car. What the shit? All right. Um, yeah, if you guys have any questions, comments, whatever, definitely put them down there. Shoot me a message, whatever. I'm happy to answer any of the questions. What else we got? A tech yoga master. Yeah, yeah, it can be like that. It can definitely be like that. Um, it's not a German engine bay, but it's pretty damn close. So yeah, if you guys got questions, I'm happy to answer them. If you have suggestions, I love hearing those. If you have ideas on better ways for me to wire this shit up and get stuff off the ground, that'd be great. Again, I'm taking something that someone else has built and trying to make it a lot better. And I'm also trying to do it without a Kindig budget. So, when you have 250, 300 grand, it's real easy. I would also have 25 people working on this car right now. Right now, I've got me and got about a $25,000 budget. So please be patient. Please understand why I'm doing what I'm doing. And that's about it. Um, so tomorrow we'll go through, or tomorrow, I don't know if we're gonna stream tomorrow. Hopefully we stream tomorrow. Um, we can go through some of the tuning stuff with the sniper and the stuff that I did to it, because I'm sort of taking notes on how this all works. The sniper system is really cool. It's very efficient. It does its job and it can work really well. but there's a lot of work behind it. It is not plug and play by any stretch. It's not. So um, probably go through some of the sniper stuff and show you guys how that works. What I'd really like to do is do an afternoon session, go for a ride, and we'll fire up the hotspot, fire up the GoPro, and we'll take the car just for a lap around the block, and you can hear it and all of that. So that's coming soon, and I guess that's about it for tonight. Uh, yeah, yeah. I appreciate all the new subscribers, all you guys signing up. I love getting those messages and those emails. Those are so cool. I'm glad you guys are enjoying what I'm doing here. Considering I'm not getting paid a dime for this, I love seeing those messages from you guys. That's great. Um, so yeah, we'll keep going. Oh, also we have the headlights coming up too. So once we get the car running and driving, get that stupid backfeeding problem. That's another thing I have to do underneath the dash tomorrow. If you think underneath the hot tub deck is tight, underneath the dash is even tighter. They took about 2/3 of the dash away when they did the fiberglass, so everything is just jammed up in there. So yeah, I got to figure out the backfeeding issue from night before last. I haven't touched that yet, and we'll get that on its own separate circuit. Get the diode in place. Hopefully, it only takes one diode. It might take two. I might just put in two since I already have everything apart, and we'll get all that electronic stuff cleaned up. So if we don't do sniper tomorrow night, we'll do some other electronic stuff, and I'll show you guys how all that worked out. And then, like I said, we'll take it for a ride, make sure everything works great, and then we'll get into the plumbing of the hot tub. So I appreciate you guys hanging out. Uh, and yeah, we will catch you later on this week. And don't forget to show someone that you love them today. Give them a kiss on the cheek. Give them a kiss on the tip of their nose. Hold their hand. Give it a squeeze. It's really important for them, but it is far more important for you. Okay. Thanks, everyone. We will talk to you soon. All right. Good thing I didn't burp on camera.